Hi folks, welcome to your latest planning outlook that's updated on Friday the 23rd of October. If you're looking for a season of mist and mellow fruitfulness, I'm afraid for the time being you've come to the wrong place, because it's the wetter, wilder side of autumn that's very much in charge through the next week ahead. Atlantic lows steaming in, some heavy rainfall particularly focused on western mountains, gale force winds, at times storm force across the mountains, the highest tops occasionally near to freezing point. We'll start off with a look at temperatures. This is the 850 millibar level. It's a typical forecasting chart that we use day in, day out in our forecasting. It's a bit of a complicated reverse engineered chart in many respects, in that it's constant pressure rather than constant height, but it's just what we often work with. What we get from this then is the height level between around 1200 and 1300 metres or so above sea level on this particular chart. So it gives us that steer for temperatures on the high tops. And as we go into Saturday, we get a brief warm sector where temperatures will lift above freezing, but that temperature will lower again as a cold front comes in from the west during Saturday daytime. So the freezing level coming back down to around 1100 metres or so, and will more or less stay there onwards into Sunday as well, maybe lifting a little bit as the day goes on. As we start the new week, it looks as though the freezing level will be around 1300 metres or so, so just the very highest tops in Scotland at or below freezing point, but some of the showers that fall may just give some snow to around 900 or 1000 metres at times. We stick with rather cool air onwards into Tuesday, a similar freezing level just on those high tops, maybe coming down a little bit, but rarely below 1200 metres. And basically onwards into the middle of the week, it's still that rather cool pattern that is in existence. The highest tops then are just around freezing point. Looking at this weekend's charts, and Saturday sees a frontal system coming in from the Atlantic, some heavy rain and strong winds associated with that. The strongest of the winds, gale or severe gale force on the mountains in the morning, will ease down a little bit through the afternoon as the front passes eastwards, the heaviest of the rain becoming concentrated on England and Wales. Showers following in from the west across Scotland. I'll just run that rainfall sequence through the day. This is in 3-hour accumulations up until the time shown, so already starting wet across the West Highlands, that frontal band passing east and southwards in the early part of the morning. Heaviest of the rain clearing, as mentioned, from western Scotland, transferring more to the lakes, the Pennines and Wales, where it will stay around into the afternoon, and showers following into the western side of Scotland there. The heavy frontal band is across southeast England into the night, and as we just skip the story on into Sunday, we'll see that it's again a story of pulses of rain and showers, some snow on the higher tops, particularly in Scotland, focusing the most frequent rainfall across more western mountains. Eastern regions somewhat sheltered from the worst of those bands of showers. Still a blustery day then for Sunday, plenty of isobars on the chart, a southwesterly wind that will be around gale force at times. The centre of the low is quite a deep feature, centred just to the west of Scotland, a real tangle of fronts wrapped around that one, and a few troughs coming in from the Atlantic as well. You can see then that idea of a west to east split in precipitation. That low is beginning to weaken as we go into the start of next week, but it drifts across the country, so still rather unsettled with frequent showers, some rain, some hail. Some heavy bursts will be around at times and locally frequent, coming in to western hills one after another at times. The centre of the low across Scotland will see the lightest of the winds and the showers moving around slowly, so some places getting away with some drier periods here across the Highlands, whereas a stronger westerly wind for England and Wales will drive those showers in more frequently, passing eastwards across the Pennines. Temperatures then on the cool side. The next front's moving in from the Atlantic into Tuesday. A brief lull before that arrives, but I suspect rain is soon in across western regions on Tuesday morning and spreading eastwards with time, maybe a few hours dry the further north and east you go, particularly across Scotland. Just got to watch the timing of that one at this stage, but it looks as though it's a day that deteriorates with time. And all in all, a pretty poor picture into the middle of the week. Some uncertainty just on the strength of the next low that's coming in, but it's likely that another deep feature comes in off the Atlantic. Plenty of rain and showers and some snow on the very highest tops in Scotland with that one, and the risk of stormy winds being around as well if that low is as deep as shown. Expect gales at the very least, the potential for storm force winds across the mountains. Not a great deal changes in that story in the second half of the week. All tangled in amongst this is the remnants of an ex-Atlantic hurricane at some point that's currently way out over the tropical mid-Atlantic. It will do what it normally does and just transition into a post-tropical storm into the jet stream and just enhances the areas of low pressure that we see. But either way, it's a wind and rain story that just continues through the rest of the week. We might drag in some milder air from the southwest if the remnants of that tropical feature do get involved, but across Scotland we're more tending to pull in the air mass from the south of Greenland over the North Atlantic, so the tendency across the Highlands to stay on the cool side and near freezing point on the high tops. If we do see a conveyor belt of a frontal system come in, then that might well give some prolonged heavy falls across some southwestern facing mountains. Uncertainty whether that's southwest Scotland, the lakes or Wales at this stage, but you can just see that sort of straight line fetch, and that's always one to watch in terms of a prolonged heavy rainfall event. That's towards Friday and Saturday. It does look then still rather unsettled even towards next weekend. No imminent sign of higher pressure building, perhaps the only suggestion that just a somewhat milder south to southwesterly is trying to develop. That's really the only change at this stage. So not too much in the way of good weather in that forecast over the week ahead. Stay up to date with your local forecasts, of course, every day on our website. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.